Hello, winners, and welcome to Two for the Win with your hosts, Nick and Will. We had another trip to Dallas. So we know we talked about Dallas before, but we did some different things, and we thought you as Wanderlusters may want to know about, especially if you're thinking about hitting North Texas at some point. So before we jump into it, though, please be sure to subscribe, share, and follow Two for the Win on your favorite platform, including YouTube. Especially for the Wanderlust Wednesday episodes, check out YouTube because there's always a lot of pictures and graphics about things to visualize it and bring it to life. But also want to give a shout out to Nick Menard and Associates with Dream Vacations for sponsoring today's episode. Thank you, Nick Menard.
You're very welcome. Hello, Will. Hello, winners.
Hello, hello. So we went a little wanderlusting again, and it was part business, part fun, and went back to the big state of Texas and Dallas in particular. So any high-level thoughts before we jump in about chatting about
I
Tex?
love going to Dallas. I would not live there because of traffic mainly, but for the rest, the food. Oh my God, I know we're gonna talk about food again, but last time we spoke more about like the all the things you can do in Dallas without being too specific. Now we're gonna be more specific about some places we went to, and yes, again we went to watch sports. So we had, of course, an experience with baseball. We went to the Texas Rangers stadium, and then we went, of course, on Sunday. If you heard the Monday episode, you know that we went to the Dallas Cowboys against Green Bay Packers. Epic 40-40 overtime game. So yeah, but we did a lot more. So we want to share that with you all, and so give you more perspective of what's possible to do in Dallas, because we've been a million times, but this time we went to places we never been before. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to share that.
Yeah, and I think we'll also at some point share a establishment you will not want to visit and stay at in Dallas, but or Irving area anyway. But we'll save that till a little bit later on the episode. But yeah, so with Dallas, so again, if you're in the Southwest Florida area, obviously plenty of flights. I think just to get very granular, one of the things that we found is the later you try to take a flight, let's say from Fort Myers to Dallas, the more likely you may have delays or issue. So I think one of the things that you mentioned, obviously, as several of us were stranded at the airport that evening because of the flight issues, was when you've flown out in the morning to Fort Myers to Dallas, you've never encountered really any issues with flights.
No, that was my first time that I actually was delayed. But it's well known when you go to Dallas, I come back from Dallas, it's usually enormous the amount of delay that there were. But my experience is if you fly in the morning, you have a lot less chance of delay. When you fly afternoon, you will probably have a lot more delay. And this time we had like 8.5 hours delay. But thank God we were they let us know in advance, so we stayed home a little bit longer before leaving. And then when we arrived, I was expecting more delay, and it was the case. And we end up in a sport bar watching the football game Monday night before coming back to the airport late at night to take an 11:30 flight. So I'm not too mad. It was really, really early in the morning, of course, and we had an early meeting, so it was a short night, but I take it for a week in Dallas.
Yeah, and shout out to the food establishment. So we took a Uber to go from the Fort Myers airport to the sports bar. They gave us a massive booth because we had all our luggage. So we were able to keep the luggage and still eat, and then took the Uber back to the airport and then flew out. And the flight itself isn't bad. It's 2.5 hours. It's a short flight, all things considered. So that wasn't bad. But yeah, got there into the wee hours of the morning. I think it was like 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central in the morning, got in, and then started the next day. And like we said, it was part business, part pleasure. But to the point that you teased at the early on about the Texas Rangers baseball game. So we went from, we had like a happy hour that we went to that was good, and went to the Rangers stadium. And I have to say, so they have the retractable roof dome. They had it closed, but it was the most comfortable I ever felt watching a baseball game. It was 72, absolutely perfect. The stadium was not packed, so we could spread out a little bit and have some space. But I know you had been to that stadium before, but any
No,
kind of high level.
I never
Was
been.
it the first
That
time?
was my first time as
Oh,
well.
I thought it was the other. Oh, that's right. You were at the other one, I think.
The other one, yeah. No,
yeah.
this one is a new stadium. I never been, and it was air conditioned. And you need to tell the audience, you're Mr. Foodie, so you need to tell the audience about their special hot dog that they sold there.
So epic fail. I show up and I didn't eat much at the happy hour, so I was like, I got to get some food in me, right? And right off the bat, we saw some wings, and we like wings, so wings it was. And literally, I was walking away with
Cashing
my
out.
little cashing out. You see this like 3-foot long little cardboard. You know how you usually have hot dogs in those little cardboard things, but this one's 3 foot long. A 3 foot long hot dog. And the crazy thing about it is you can get different toppings on the section of the hot dog. So it looked like this one person had it like broken in thirds. So third was one way, the middle third was another, and then the latter third was another. It looked absolutely delicious. It looked absolutely artery clogging, like I'd probably give myself a heart attack, but it looked fantastic. And so if you're a fan of hot dogs, or you just like trying something that's different that you don't normally get, the toppings that they had for the hot dogs looked very different. It wasn't just like your standard mustard and onion or whatever. But check out the hot dog. Don't buy the food until you at least see that massive 3-foot long hot dog. You know, you could almost use it like if it was a little more solid, or like it was dried out, you could use it as like a sword, like a you know. So maybe the production company will make it a little more balanced with Nick and put my face on some sort of samurai sword guy. But
yeah, I would love that, by the way, because it's always me that they're picking on. But yeah, I'm easy to pick on, I guess. But also for people who don't like particularly hot dogs, on the same like 3-foot, you know, like container, you can also have nachos. You can have different things. So if you don't like that, you can have different things. And we've been to tons of stadium. We never saw something like this. So I'm pretty sure some stadium may do the same. But it was for us the first time we saw this. So definitely good. Like I said, great stadium. Really AC everywhere. So air conditioning is great. Rooftop can be open and closed. And yeah, really, really well done kind of stadium. It looks a little bit weird from the outside. It looks like a barn, but inside it looks really, really good. And it's literally next to the parking of the Cowboys stadium. So it's literally all the same place. And then you have the sport bar in the middle that's called Texas Live, where you can go and also watch game and food. So it's like a whole place with huge parkings all around. So
yeah, maybe we just stay the course with that right now, because it is in an area, Arlington, where we were staying in Irving, it was like a 20-minute drive. I'm not sure exactly what it would be from like the Dallas airport.
40 minutes.
Yeah, not too bad. But yeah, that whole area is nice. So you have the old Texas Rangers Stadium there. Then across the street from that, you have the new one. And to your point, from the outside, you're like, it almost looks like the old field house in Hoosiers. You remember the basketball movie Hoosiers? But inside is absolutely gorgeous and clean. Clean. It was very clean for a ballpark. And then to your point, we had Texas Live kind of in the middle of the entertainment center. So I know you had been there before. So let you have honors to chat about that Texas Live experience.
Yeah, Texas Live is a huge 2-floor like sport bar with huge screens everywhere. And you know, food is like sport bar kind of food, definitely. But yeah, it's in a very big place. And then you have inside, of course, the 2-floor things, and then you have some restaurant bar within the bar that are a little bit separate. Then you have a place to buy just meat, like you can have ribs, wings, and stuff like that, just behind that sport bar. But it's under the same building, and then outside you have an outdoor place where you have big games, or you definitely the Cowboys game. You can go there. I think it's like a $5 or $10 entrance to go there from the back, and then you can watch on a huge screen outside when it's not raining. Also sport while eating wings and drinking beer. So it's a perfect place for people loving sport and just having fun company, with friends and rooting for a team. So So I would highly recommend going there. Now, if it's a Sunday, that's a bit different. They have like those rules where you can only stay per game. So when you have the 12 o'clock game local time, you have the 3 o'clock game local time, and you have the 7 o'clock game local time. You have to reserve for those three, and you cannot reserve before the first game is halftime. So it's a little bit annoying. You need to go back and forth and change tables, but that's because it's packed. And we may not like the system, but the system works because it's always packed. And that's that's the way they do it. But other than that, during the week, they don't have that kind of rule, so you can just go in and sit down wherever you want, first come first serve. But it's a pretty big sport bar.
Oh yeah, it's massive. The screens are huge. And the other thing though, so if we have some of our winners or Wanderlusters who are like, I'm not really that into sports, they have concerts. Like I noticed they had a number of concerts, especially for I would imagine, they keep it outside when they can, because the outside area was massive and really well done. Good layout. But I'm sure they could pull them inside if they have to as well, because the place is just really big inside. But they do have concerts. They have other events, so make sure you check it out. The Texas Live, and then surrounding there's a couple of hotels. So let's say you just wanted to stay down in that area. There's a couple of Lowe's hotels you can stay at down there. But outside of, I would say the sports complex and then the Texas Live in the middle, I didn't really notice a lot around that area. So I'm not sure if anyone would want to stay down there unless they just wanted to make sure they were in walking distance to either one of the stadiums.
Yeah, I agree. It's a place for sport, concert, and events. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, that Sunday night, we went to Jerry World in the AT&T Stadium to watch the Packers and Cowboys. I know you had been there before, and you were like, oh, wait till you see this place. Have to give it props. It was super cool. That big, so for those who don't know or don't follow sports so much, that stadium at the time it was built was the most expensive stadium ever built. And they have the largest indoor screen for any stadium in the United States. And it is massive. And it makes it so good. So sometimes, if you go to sporting events and you get the nosebleed seats because you're on a budget or that's all that's available or whatever, it's sometimes hard to see the players on the field. Even if it didn't seem like that would be the case in that stadium, the way they laid it out. Like, I think you'd still have a good viewing experience of the field, but that TV is and crystal clear. There's no pixelation or anything. No. That was phenomenal. Also had the roof open, which was cool at night. We got a little bit of a breeze that felt good. And of course you got the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, which is always fun, and a number of different things. And again,
America's sweetheart.
Yeah. But again, you can tell the money that they invested into it went into the screen and the audience experience. That was fantastic.
Yeah, nothing else to add. It's not a Fanatic Friday episode, but we wanted to share with you like the experience that are possible that you can have in Dallas when you are there. There's definitely Arlington is a place to go if you have any kind of passion for sport or music or things like that.
Yeah. So one of the newer places that we went to within that Dallas-Fort Worth area was Greenville.
That's Dallas, yeah. That's Dallas,
and I know you were really impressed with it. So why don't you tell our audience a little bit more about that experience?
Yeah, so I surprisingly enough, I never been to that area. I've been uptown, downtown, like multi times, but I never been. I've been, of course, to the Terry Blacks area, which is not the best area to hang, but there are
Terry Blacks is
where it's at. And then Greenville. So I know I talked to some of my associates who live there, and they told me, "Oh, you need to go to Greenville for a great experience and stuff." So I said, "Okay, we're gonna try something new." So we got there, and it's literally a residential place. So you have tons of nice places. If I would ever have to move to Dallas, Texas, again, if it wasn't for the 3-4 bad months a year when it's very cold and even some snow and stuff like that, and for the traffic, I would have no problem because it's the best place for sport and entertainment and lots of great place to eat. Oh my God. But that's definitely the place I would live. So there's like a bunch of really nice streets, nice little roads, like very, very residential. And then you have those two sections in each side of the residential like area where you have bars, restaurants, lounge bar and things like that, but very very well, the kind of people who going are really nice people. Like it's not, it's not what you can see in other places of Dallas. It's not all upscale and it's not down, so it's
Yeah.
literally the middle class, I would say, but really nice people, good atmosphere, all ages. But you have a sport bar there, they're called Chrissy's, and we went there on Saturday to watch all the college game. We spent all day. That was really, really good. A waitress was fantastic.
Yeah, phenomenal.
She was literally coming all the time to ask for us, and we stayed all day. So of course we didn't order every time, but she makes sure that, or we had to drink, we had food. Always a big smile on her face. Even after 3 hours, we didn't order nothing because we were there all day. So I really like that. Also, a great sport bar, not the size of Texas Live, but all you need. Bunch of screens everywhere. Good atmosphere. People were rooting for their team all day, so it was fun. Full atmosphere. But next to it, and different area there, you have bunch of restaurants that I heard are amazing. We didn't go, of course, because we cannot eat 7 times a day. I wish we could, but we didn't.
Not at the portions anyway that we
no,
eat. Yeah.
No, but you have next door there was a place where they do trivia. In front you had a place where they do all kind of food, like of course based on meat mainly. You have a lounge bar that I heard from someone from my team as well, that it's in the same area, that it's a very popular place for Thursday night and Monday night, for example. And then you have that residential place, and then on the other side you have the same kind of things with like sport bar, restaurant, and lounge. So I would definitely recommend anyone who never been there to go to Greenville, and you will find a very easy walkable area to go place to place, and very safe.
Yeah, and right down there as well, a old-fashioned classic donut shop. So, we see now, you see this with cupcakes and donuts. Like they have these shakes, remember the milkshakes and stuff, where it's almost like a massive production. And you can't even take a full bite of something because it's stacked so high, like with some of these donuts and cupcakes. This one was a classic old school. So if you're somebody who's like, you know what, no frills, just want something quality, good, classic donuts. I looked in there and was checking it out, and you wouldn't be disappointed. And they had quite the line actually going. And they also had, which was a little weird in the donut place, the other thing they were selling a ton, especially because it was before the games, is they have like these little small hot dog pastries. So it's not the size of a regular length hot dog, is like half the size of it, but the almost like a croissant, but it wasn't a croissant. It was something different, but it was puffier. So it was a little more like breaded and stuff. And they would sell these things by like the dozen. And I had some guy came in and bought like 7-8 dozen, $150. And I was like, holy smokes. Like he must be, he's got to be having a lot of people over or something, because I don't know.
No, it was him.
Unless it was for the hot dog eating contest or something. But anyway, yeah, very nice area. And so when we got there, so we went there actually in that area twice. One time from our hotel, the other time from our favorite barbecue place in downtown Dallas, Terry Black's. Both times you end up having to take the same path. And to Nick's point, the homes, a lot of brick homes, but the manicured lawns, like I didn't see any yard in that whole stretch that was unkept, where weeds, like it looked almost like carpet. The grass was kept up so well. Definitely family oriented, because you could see like little swing sets and stuff in the backyard. But it struck me like the classical Americana, like if you ever hear of classical Americana and little neighborhood community and stuff. A beautiful area, and the homes look really nice, and it looked, I would say, upper middle class. It definitely wasn't like mansions, but it definitely wasn't places that were unkept.
Yeah, 100%. Again, I would definitely go back. Next time we go to Dallas, I would love to go back to that area and try some of the restaurants there. But Greenville is where it's at. And the day after, I talked to some people. The first time we went, so it was on Thursday or Friday or whatever. Thursday. I talked to some people at at work, and they said, "Oh yes, you didn't know that place? That's really good." So that's a place that's actually known, but after years going to Dallas, never been there. So sometimes you need to expand your horizon and see what else is available, because Dallas, you can literally go to so many places to have great atmosphere, great food, of course. And let's talk very quickly again about Terry Blacks, because we talked about it on the first time we spoke about Dallas episode. But
Yeah.
but we took some of our colleagues there
Mm-hmm.
so they can experience who never been, and they went back the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So literally they had their spouse coming for the weekend and they brought them back there. That's how great they like it. So definitely like a place where you can see the meat literally. You have all those big container, I forgot how to say
Pits
that, like
or
those pits,
yeah,
like
yeah.
those huge barbecues,
Yeah.
and smokers, the huge one, and then they bring the food in front, and then literally they take it out like it is, and then they just you pay by pounds.
Yeah.
By weight, so they just cut it. What do you want? This side, and they cut it in front of you. They put it in the scale and said, "Okay, here it is. You want something else? Yeah, some sausages, some brisket, some ribs, and it's freaking delicious, insanely delicious." And then I know you
Yeah.
like the pudding.
Oh yeah, banana pudding.
Banana pudding that they have as dessert and stuff. So it's like a big factory, like,
Oh.
but it's packed. And that was the first time I was actually not 100% packed, but it was. We were early on
Yeah.
on the Thursday, I was thinking. But weekends you will have a line, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I would say we've been there where it had a pretty significant line and a shorter line. It always goes quick
fast,
because when you walk in, so the way Terry Black's is, you don't get served at the table. There's a bunch of picnic tables or regular tables, and they do have a bar seating area, but you stand in a line, you walk through, they have big coolers filled with ice with all the drinks, so you grab your bottle drink, whatever you want. The first thing you do is you go up and they do all the sides. And so so a lot of typical barbecue related sides like cornbread and coleslaw. But personally, the ones I like the best, they have an outstanding mac and cheese. And I don't eat a lot of mac and cheese because I've been spoiled. And when you have really great mac and cheese, you don't want to do like the Kraft mac and cheese. So great mac and cheese, but the green beans are Southern style, which is good, but the cream corn, it's not your typical cream corn. They add some spices and stuff to it. It's delicious. Potato salad. So anyway, you go up, they put that all together, and then to the left, it's kind of weird. So you do that. Then the next stage is actually the dessert. So if you want the dessert, of course, I get my banana pudding because I do love Nilla wafers in my banana pudding, but it's super good. And then you take the tray from that, and then you go to the cashier, and that's where Nick is describing where they have all the meat and tons of different meat between sausages, chopped beef, brisket, ribs. We tried the ribs for the first time. Holy smokes, was that good? And then you go sit down, and then they have the different sauces at the table. But yeah, we brought some colleagues. They loved it, went back a second time. And the cool thing is, in that area, it's one of those areas you probably wouldn't want to be alone walking around late at night. But early evening, or certainly with a small group of friends, there's a jazz club. I think we talked about that before, which is really cool. And then a block away from Terry Black's, you can walk. They have this little mom and pop pie shop, and it's not your standard pies. It's I think we talked about it last time as well, but it's a different consistency. So there's things nearby you can walk around and do and enjoy. And then, if you want, you take a 15 to 20-minute Uber and you go to Greenville and you can check out that area that we were just talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the main thing we did. Since we went to Washington D.C. a couple of months ago, and you experienced Fogo de Chão for the first time, and we loved it. We decided to go. And fun fact, it's cheaper in Texas than it is in DC. So it was from $75 to $65 for a all you can eat, meats and buffet. So we went there on Friday night, I think, and we ate there, and it was outstanding again, like fantastic. Like me, you could give me all day, every day, like picanha,
The lamb.
and the lamb. I mean, I like everything, but those two things will will suffice. Like if I can have just that, I'm good. I mean, I can have good just that. That's a good thing. Don't forget when you go to those Brazilian steakhouse, you can ask, you can request. Most people wait to see when their meat are coming. I mean, I want but they don't say it. You just ask the person coming. No, but I'm looking for picanha, or I'm looking for lamb or something like that, and they will come back with what you need, and then you can take as much or as little as you want. So I highly recommend Fogo de Chão. When you are anywhere in big cities in the United States, you will find one. So
it's fantastic. And for our Wanderlusters who haven't been to a Brazilian steakhouse, they literally come with the slabs of meat on a stick, not a stick, but a skewer, and then slice it right there, right at your table. And then sometimes, depending on the meat and how they slice it, you have these little set of tongs, and you grab it from there and put it on your plate. But they have this cylinder, little circle, cardboard circle, green on one side, meaning keep bringing the food until you tap out, and then red, where you're like, give me a minute. And we've been to, like Nick mentioned a few months ago, in DC, Dallas, both places, never had to worry about being left alone. If you got it green, they are coming by with stuff. And that grilled cheese that they have, and they put a little honey on it. So they take a little spoon, they dip it in a thing of honey, and then drizzle it over the baked cheese.
And a wing to our friends in Belgium, Steve and Olivier, with the honey. They will know what we're talking about. But literally, they said, you want with honey or without honey? Of course, honey. And then they put the honey and they bring it. And in DC, they came one time for the whole dining. Here, they came multi-times. So the same thing. Don't hesitate to tell them, hey, I really love this. Can you come back? And they come back and they bring you more of those cheese thing with honey. That's just outstanding.
So good. And the buffet is like definitely a lot bigger than your typical salad bar. A lot of different dishes and things you can get, roasted garlic, all sorts of stuff. But if you really want to get the most bang for your buck, don't go too heavy on the buffet. Load up on the meat, and you will have a ton of that. But, there are a lot of health benefits to honey. And one of the reasons why I like that honeycomb drink. But anyway, you knew I was going to bring that in. One last thing I just wanted to mention. We didn't experience this, but it's along that same area as you're making your way towards Arlington for Texas Rangers or Dallas Cowboys, or if you just want to go to Texas Live. They have a Six Flags.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe chat a little bit about that, even though we didn't experience it. But they have a wooden roller coaster, which there's not many of those around.
Yeah, so it's along the highway. So literally you drive and then you start seeing all those big roller coaster. But when I say big, it's Texas big. Yeah. Like you have literally that wooden one that the Uber driver were explaining all about it. You can feel it moving and stuff like that. And the nose... like when you
break
go on it,
hip.
And then you said that you had experience like that in Ohio or whatever, somewhere else, and then you have a few other one, but big ones. And I heard from a colleague who lives in the area who've been there multi-time with his kids, and he said it's very, 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 very good. It's a huge place, and like if you like Six Flags, I think I saw a few. I've been to a few, but this one never. But it looks bigger. With a lot more attraction and roller coaster. So if you like this, it's literally next to the exit of Arlington exit to go to the stadiums. So you are literally 5-10 minutes away from the stadiums. So you will not be bored in Texas. And don't forget, if you go 10 miles further than that, when you leave from Dallas, you go to Arlington, 10 miles further is Fort Worth, and there you have the stockyard when we talked about it. But the stockyard is definitely some place you need to go if you've never been, if you like, of course, food, but also if you like to see lawns, like walking around and rodeo and things like that. So it's definitely a place I would recommend. And again, you will not get bored going to North Texas because you have so much to do.
Yeah, and we didn't go, but we knew some people who went. Their state fair is just enormous, and what we heard, the food offerings at the state fair were mind-blowing. So, again, to Nick's point, plenty to do. You're a family, you're a couple, you're a solo traveler. You will have a smorgasbord of things to pick from in terms of activities and experiences to do. yeah, Dallas has quickly become one of the more favorite domestic places to travel for me, but also like my friend Nick, I wouldn't necessarily live there, but a great place to visit. So anyway, that will do it for this episode, our Wanderlust winners for this Wanderlust Wednesday. Please, again, be sure to share, subscribe, and follow 2 for the Win on your favorite platform. And again, shout out to Nick Menard and Associates with Dream Vacations for sponsoring today's episode. That'll do it, Wanderlusters. We'll see you next week.
Bye, winners.